I'm doing some procrastinating today. I'm supposed to be working on a sweater. I'm down to the sleeves and it's kind of a bit of a slog, so it was a perfect time to make a little swatch. I'm looking at decreases today. The first decrease by the little blue elephant here is the basic knit two together. That is known as a right-leaning decrease. I have some left-leaning decreases. The classic slip knit pass is here. This is the slip slip knit where the first two stitches are slipped knitwise and then knit into the back loop. This is basically the same thing as slip slip knit, only the first stitch is slipped knitwise, the second stitch is knit or slip purlwise, and then knit into the back loop as the regular slip slip knit. This is something that is a little bit new to me that I was just hearing about. This SYTK or slip yank twist knit, and it's a variation on the slip slip knit that is allegedly supposed to lie a little bit flatter. With our classic stockinette here, it's curling up like crazy, so I had to pin it down. But let's take a look at how these guys work. So basically, the first one is very easy. I think everybody's very familiar with this decrease, which is basically to knit two together. So we get to that spot. This is much thicker yarn, so it shows everything pretty clearly. Things that are done in a lighter weight, like a fingering weight or so forth, would hide a lot of these characteristics, but in the thicker weight yarn you certainly can see the characteristics of these decreases. So that's a knit two together. It leans a little bit to the right. Coming over here to our next little elephant, we're going to go to two stitches before our little critter, and this is basically you slip one, knit the next one, pass this stitch over, and you have the decrease here. You can kind of see it's a little bit lumpy, I think, but it would work probably in a finer yarn. And then go to our next critter, and we'll do the classic slip, slip, knit, and then we have the two stitches here, and then we're going to go to the next elephant and do pretty much the same thing, only we're going to do the second stitch as a purlwise slip. So come to two stitches before the yellow elephant, and we slip the first one knitwise, the second one purlwise, knit to the back loop, and I think that does lie flatter than this version does when you slip both of them knitwise. I do like this better. This is what I usually use. And then there's this new fangled thing I heard about that I tried out, and I like it too. I think it does a nice job of lying flat. Let's get to two stitches before with the red elephant. And this one starts like the others with a slip knitwise, but instead of slipping this purlwise, we give it a yank, twist it around, return this stitch to the left-hand needle, and knit them in the back. Now I'm going to do this again because I found another way that I think is a little easier, and that is basically slipping as we have done. Let's get this back to the get-go. Okay, slip this knitwise, and then what I do is pull this out, twist it around, and then come back in and pick up the first stitch. There's a little twist in here, and I just let it go. That gets the twist that's on the needle out of the way, and then knit it into the back loop. And so that's how that one looks. It also looks fairly flat. Now, there's some people who say that you can knit 2 stitches into the back loop, and I think that is quite a bit different than what we've seen before. It's a similar idea, but it definitely has a different characteristic. And I think what you'd want to do if you wanted to use this, which is probably the easiest of all of them, would be to swatch it a little bit and see how you like it. I notice when things line up, I really see the characteristics of them. So here you can see these decreases are with that little yank and twist. And I don't think yank is really appropriate. It's more like a kind of a tug rather than a yank. Yank sounds pretty violent. But I think this one is also very nice, which is when you slip it purlwise for the second stitch. And this isn't bad. Some people don't see any difference between that. And I'd say this one looks the clunkiest to me, where you pass the stitch over. But any one of these could work. I think it's probably a matter of what you feel most comfortable with and what you like to use and how you like the look of it. So there we go, a little bit of decreasing.